and everybody over there at Worcester Daily News. So, T. Williams. And I am not here by myself. As always on Tuesdays, we have the one, the only, too real to be phony. Trooper Joe is in the building. Troop.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's having a fine day. I got a couple of birthday shout-outs I want to do to Pat Yancey from the NAACP. She's celebrating her birthday.
Happy birthday.
And I want to shout out to my favorite city councilman of all times, the most beautiful, the most beloved. All right, I'll leave it at beautiful. And that's Ryan Rivera.
Hey.
And I want to shout out to my lovely niece. Her name is Lillian Harris on her birthday, and they're sending her all the love that can ever be sent throughout the universe.
All right, happy birthday to you as well.
Birthday.
Well, Monday afternoon on his blog, Michael Gaffney announced that he and his wife, Corinne Gaffney, will not be running for city council. Our new endeavors will result in significant time away from the area and will not allow us to focus on the demands of the city council. Therefore, we have made the decision to withdraw from our respective campaigns. Michael Gaffney, currently serving his second term as city councilor at large, was first elected in 2013. In 2015, Michael ran for mayor of Worcester, but lost to Joe Petty, however, and was elected city council at large and vice chairman of the council. Corinne Gaffney, a past member of the city manager's Citizens Advisory Council, was running for District 4 councilor against Sarai Rivera. Not many had her uprooting the current District 4 councilor, so it would have seemed she made more sense had Corinne withdrew. Michael Gaffney withdrawing is the shocker here. The self-proclaimed people's counselor was heavily campaigning as recent as this past Saturday in Worcester. On his personal blog, Gaffney wrote, "As to our future endeavors, we'd love to disclose our future plans. Unfortunately, the local hate groups and media make it unwise for us to reveal our plans. Having said that, the timing for the withdrawal, less than a month from Election Day, has left many in search of answers. Questions will hopefully be answered in the near future as to why they both dropped out of the race and what's next in the future for the Gaffneys." The Worcester Elections Commission, as of Monday afternoon, had not heard from the Gaffneys. The Election Commission did tell Worcester Daily News that the Gaffneys will still be on the ballot in November. If the Gaffneys were to be elected, they would have to submit a letter of resignation. That letter could be submitted at any time. The Gaffneys could wait to submit their letters at a later date, just in case their plans fell through. If elected and they submit their letters of resignation, the next top vote getter in their races would take their seats. Before Monday's announcements, it was projected that all city councilors at large candidates currently on the council would have been reelected. So we will definitely have, if Michael Gaffney sticks to his word of leaving, we will definitely have a new member of the city council, something that we would not have had Gaffney decided to stay as a at-large city councilor.
Yeah, this is true. I'm I'm having a big smile about this. I'm really wondering what's up. You know, really, why is this thing coming out the blue like this? When you're in radio and stuff, your mind kind of runs all over the place when you hear kind of juicy things like this when you're in this kind of journalism.
Yep.
And it's like, it could be that he's got a very nice position that's been offered to him and something that he couldn't turn down. But why is his wife going with him? I don't know.
Right.
It could be that you finally got your little self caught in doing some dirty kind of deals and everything. This isn't unusual. We see it all the time on the larger scale. So yeah, this is not unusual. You could have been doing something, a Ponzi scheme or something like that in your everyday life or in your city car. I don't know. Or maybe you got an illness that's going to kill you before I have no idea. I'm dying
Allegedly.
allegedly. I'm dying to find out why it just came like that. Nothing really comes out of the sky that fast. Not even rain.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it takes a little while to come out. Lightning moves pretty fast, but even lightning, you can sense it coming. It's like there was no urgency, there was no sense of any of this to take place. And why did this take place? I think that Michael Gaffney owes the people of Worcester, especially the ones that voted for him, because he's been elected.
Yep.
He owes those people an explanation.
Yep.
You know, I think that's the only fair thing really to do. And hopefully that he toes the line and gives an explanation. I hope it is a good one. I hope it ain't something that's illegal, you know, and going to come back and really damage the character of Michael Gaffney even more than he damages it himself at sometimes. But that's all right.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to speculate as to why Gaffney did not decide to continue to run.
Yeah,
But can you imagine how happy some people in Worcester are right now?
Oh, I'm sure the joy. You just open the window, you can hear the joys and the screams. And for you people out there that's celebrating all this, and don't stop your celebration if it's really true to you. Don't stop it. But add to your celebration by really searching out now and making sure that you're putting somebody in that's going to be looking out for your best interest.
Right.
Don't just put in Mickey Mouse or something like that, or vote in somebody because you like them or something like. Nah, don't do that. You know, make sure you're going to put in somebody that's going to look out for your best interest, because I'll say right out front, this city is changing, and the interest of many of the people living in the inner city are not going to be addressed.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yep. So my thoughts are, after going to war with Mosaic, after having a knockdown, drag-out race, mayoral race with Joe Petty, after going after Sarai Rivera, Michael Gaffney's reign as city councilor may be coming to an end.
Yeah.
And I say may because his name and Corinne's name, his wife's name, is still going to be on the ballot. And if they indeed get the most votes, and she indeed does beat Sarai Rivera, they could just say, you know what, plans fell through. We're going to stay as city council members.
They could.
Yep, they can still opt to continue on as the rightful winner of the race.
Yeah.
However, if they do as they intended, the next vote getter will become the new at-large District 4 city councilor, respectively. Corinne wasn't going to beat Sarai.
No.
She wasn't. She didn't have a snowball's chance in hell.
No, I don't even know why she would do. You know, she was a strange kind of candidate anyways. I thought first she started out wanting to be on the school committee, and then all of a sudden she was going to go school committee and city council at large, and then she's running against Sarai in District 4. It's like, you either like getting punished or
right,
or you just don't think things out very well.
Right. So, I mean, put her to the side because she wasn't going to beat Sarai Rivera anyways.
Yeah.
The big question is Michael Gaffney. He was heavily favored to win his city council seat and be reelected, even though no one thought he had the chance to beat Joe Petty for mayor. That's why he didn't run against Joe Petty again, because he seemed to have lost momentum for his race. That's why he dropped out as mayor. He was kind of on the fence about it, thinking about it, but he had no momentum going into facing Joe Petty like he had 2 years ago, so he decided against it. But something happened within a 72-hour period.
Yeah.
Something happened from that Saturday when he was, from this past Saturday, when he was campaigning, putting up signs, doing his Cheer Worcester blog, his little YouTube video that he does. Something happened between then and now that convinced him not to do it. Make no mistake about it, though. In Worcester, his group was certainly losing momentum.
Oh yeah, his group in Worcester. He had lined himself with somebody who expounds a lot of I ain't gonna just say hate, because it's not really hate. It's just kind of like yellow journalism,
right?
You know, and he aligned himself very heavily with that person, and that's all right for the person to do the yellow journalism, that kind of, you know, yellow journalism,
right?
You know, and that's quite all right, but it's not all right for a politician to be so closely aligned with that,
mm-hmm.
You know, because that makes you look really, really bad.
Yep.
You know, and then taking on, you know, editors of the local paper, not the local big paper, but the local second big paper, you know,
mm-hmm.
and all these type of things. You know, it's like you weren't making really good decisions that had any real ethical and moral value to them. They were like little kid decisions,
right?
You know, calling names and stuff.
Yep.
And you know, and then digging into parks and stuff. It's like, come on.
Well,
I still don't understand it. You could have got jobs for kids.
Yeah.
Or you could have even just taught kids on your own how to dig into parks. But you digging into parks and weeding and stuff like that. Hey, if you like it, that's fine. But it's not very good.
It's not going to do a thing for your campaign.
No.
Well, be it the backfiring from attacking Walter Bird from Worcester magazine,
exactly.
The accusing him of sexually harassing a friend, which stopped talking to Gaffney because Gaffney used that woman as a pawn. So after using that woman as a pawn and realizing she was a pawn just for Gaffney's political gain, she no longer talks to Michael Gaffney anymore. Mm-hmm. So Michael Gaffney who thought he was actually winning on that, received a lot of backlash from attacking Walter Bird to even endorsing Bill Coleman, who ran for District 1 preliminary and with the help of Gaffney garnered a measly 212 votes compared to Sean Rose, who got 1,035 votes.
Yeah.
So, and Sean Rose won. Well, he came in first place in the preliminary.
Yeah.
It seemed like the ship has sailed on Gaffney's once dominating influence on the city. I don't even want to talk about the whole Sanctuary City debacle, where 1,000 people from Joe Petty came down and basically pointed the finger at Michael Gaffney and said, "Neener, neener, neener, neener." The people's counselor, the self-proclaimed people's counselor, doesn't seem like he has much of the people anymore like he used to.
Well, I don't think I think he had aspirations to really want to help the people. He just didn't know the people.
Oh, he got a lot of votes, though.
He got a lot of votes because he put out a lot of, he going to do this and going to do, but he had no idea what the people, he still has no idea what the people are. Mm-hmm. He don't know the people. He's like Trump on a lower level. People to him are just, they're in the way. Mm-hmm. If they could get the plants to vote, he'd be fine.
Right.
You know, but people, he could call himself the people's representative, but he doesn't know or understand the people. He lives a very privileged life, so it seems.
He does.
And he doesn't understand what the people of the city really need and what they really want. You know? It's foreign to him, you know?
It is. It's very foreign to him. But still, today is a celebration for many after learning of Gaffney's intended departure. People such as Sarai Rivera, who was a tense rival of Gaffney, is probably behind the scenes partying like it's 1999. She's probably playing music and they're dancing and having all kinds of celebrations. But there's still a lot of work to be done in the city.
Yeah.
What about gentrification?
The gentrification is taking place big time in the city.
People having to move because even slumlords have raised their rent to the point where it's unaffordable by people of the lower classes.
Yeah, and I mean it's like, and people, I feel bad for you in one regard, but it's like you saw it coming.
Yep.
It's like to say it didn't just spring up out of the ground. We've been broadcasting about this both here and on Voice of the Voiceless.
Yep.
It's coming, people.
Right.
Don't let it happen to you just without doing anything. And what you have to do is you have to put in people in power that can really, really talk for you and really give you a voice. It's like you got one more opportunity here to make some kind of inroads. You're not going to get whatever it is that you thought you were going to get now, because time is taking away a lot of that stuff. but you don't have to give up everything. You got an opportunity now to regain something.
Well, I say in 2 years. I don't think they got that opportunity now because just yesterday, the remaining potential city councilors discussed ways to make the city more livable.
Yeah.
And they talked more about streets and sidewalks that have to do with sidewalks more than anything, or like the steady raising of the cost of living in the city, higher taxes for homeowners, or even the homeless and what to do to improve their situations. They barely talked about any of that stuff and talked about the 7 Hills. What are we going to dig into 7 Hills more now for sidewalks? Was the main theme of the discussion of the city councilors. Yeah. So I think you guys got 2 years now.
Yes, and you know, when they're talking about sidewalks and they're talking about cleanliness and they're talking about lighting, they're talking about that because they're going to redefine the whole face of the city.
Yep.
They're going to change the way that city demographics is to be conducive and friendly towards a pedestrian type environment of business working class people.
Yep.
Just like, you know, if you don't fit in the business working class environment, they're not talking about you.
Right, they're not at all.
They're not talking about the laborer's person. Mm-hmm. They're not talking about the person, the homeless or the unemployed or somebody who's just scraping by. They're not talking about you. They're talking about the business and the high-end business class people. That's who they're making the cities accessible to. Because that's the people come there, they'll park their cars and then they need to walk to go eat. They need to walk to walk around and shop, the nightlife of the entertainment and stuff. They need to have that kind of access by walking and stuff. Has nothing to do with the poor people.
With the poor people. Or even just the lower class people, period.
No, and it's in your face. It's like,
It's happening right in front of people, and people don't see it coming.
Yeah.
Michael Gaffney, at the very least, voted against the millionaire and his group who wanted to build an apartment, high-rise apartments at Kelly Square. Michael Gaffney at least voted against them getting tax breaks, and he was the only city councilor to do so. Yeah. Does this mean that I'm going to miss Michael Gaffney? No.
No.
Does this mean that I'm celebrating? Does it mean that I'm in a day of mourning right now because Michael Gaffney's gone? No. Does it mean that I'll lose some sleep at night because Michael Gaffney's left? No. But if you think for 1 second that Michael Gaffney packed his bag, took his ball, and said, I'm leaving, and then took all of Worcester's problems with him, you're in for a rude awakening. You are in for a huge awakening. This city still has a lot of problems and a lot of things that needs to be addressed, and they're not being addressed by our current plethora of city councilors.
Exactly. And it won't be. The remaining city councilors, the old guard that's still out there, they don't talk to you people.
Nope. Not at all.
And even when they do interact with you, they talk at you.
Yep.
They don't talk to you.
Nope.
You know, and that's a problem because they work for you.
They do.
They exist because of you.
That's what they're supposed. So that's supposedly what it is. But even Connie Luke said, "You go from that side of the bar to this side of the bench. If you want to, if we're so evil, then replace us. Go from that side to this side." And you know what? No one's done it yet. Ain't nobody stepped up yet.
She knew it was going to happen like that.
Yep.
You know, it's like when she knew that, and now she's running for mayor.
She is.
I don't know what that's all about, but.
All right. So, I don't know. Yeah, so I will bid Michael Gaffney adieu when he's actually 100% gone.
Yeah, me too.
To me, this could be a ploy. This could be a way to get sympathy. This could be anything at this point. So until he is officially gone, I will reserve my celebrations or my mourning or anything until after he's officially gone.
And I have to echo that. And not only that, it's like, you know, I'm gonna reserve my sympathies and stuff for the people of Worcester too. It's like if you don't start looking at yourselves as a viable voice in this city, then shame on you.
Yep.
Shame, because all the Gaffney leaving and stuff like that, there's still a shadow government in this city.
Very much shadow government. Yes.
And you know, and it's kind of obvious because the city councilors that's in there now don't tell you what's going on.
Yep.
The city manager's office doesn't tell you what they're doing with the money. And
yep.
they can always say, well, they don't ask, but it's like, yeah, they don't know the questions to ask.
Yep.
The voice, you have to start getting a voice for yourself out there, and then asking the questions.
Right.
And don't take an answer that, well, if you don't like it, then vote me out. That's not an answer.
Well, what I'm putting on my Facebook page right now, the words of wisdom that I just got from that discussion is, if you decide to not be a voice, no one is going to listen.
Exactly. You got to open that mouth, folks.
Yep, you do. You got to speak up.
You got to speak up. And you got to do it collectively, too. Or if you can't do it collectively, do it individually. At least do it. Show your you don't have to get out there and protest and break windows and chip over buses or something like that.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna do anything. That's gonna feed the media so that they can call you ruffians or whatever they want to. But asking the questions. Ask the questions.
Organize.
Well, yeah. Even if you can't organize, just somebody who goes to the city council, ask them to ask the question for you. But get your voice out there. Other than that, the sidewalks will be clean, but you can't walk on it.
It'll be clean to you as well. You won't be there. So, Troop, I finally saw the video of the person who was trying to commit suicide from falling off of Union Station.
Yeah?
Yeah, that man really did try to jump, and they literally caught him as okay, so in the video, I'll show you the video during the break or something, but it shows the man on one end of the building and a group of police with one man with a shield moving towards him. And right when they get to him, he tries to jump, they grab him, and then they pull him back up onto the ledge. So he really did try to go. Yep. Last week, a man stood atop the parking garage at Union Station and Worcester threatening to jump off. The video was discovered after the daring rescue. Now, they still haven't decided, they still didn't name the person who jumped or the police officer who saved him. They were withholding that name.
It's good to be a hero, I guess, and stuff like that. And I'm going to just say, what the police officer, you need to be retrained. That was a dumb act.
Yeah.
That was a dumb. Your little itty bitty arm. I don't know how big the guy was and stuff like that, but you were lucky that your little itty bitty arm was able to pull that guy back, because you can't move 200 and something pounds with that little itty bitty shoulder out there like that. You're lucky you didn't go over with him. That is not in police procedures and stuff like that. And what the shields for?
Right.
I don't understand what the shields are for. This was bugging me for the first incident. Why are you police people behind shields?
I guess just in case the man becomes combative, you don't know what he has. He could have a bomb on him. He could have a gun on him. When a person's ready to commit suicide, a lot of terrible things can end up happening.
Well, a lot can. That's why you send in a negotiator that can try to talk the man down. From a distance, you don't send in a Captain America to grab somebody, because really he can't do that. He can. Obviously it worked, and that's a good thing. Everybody's safe all the way around, and I think that's very good and everything, but that is definitely not a procedure that needs to be followed. The police officer, I'm going to give you probably get a hero medal and stuff like that for saving the life, and you're deserving of it. But I hope also when you getting the hero thing, that at least somebody in your family slaps you upside the head with a dope slap. It's like, what's wrong with you? You can't hold that weight like that with an arm.
Right.
It's like, you could have went over too. And then what happens? That's not a good thing.
Yeah. But it's good that they caught the man, and the man didn't lose his life. And kudos to the Worcester police again for stepping up and saving the man's life. I know it's their job to do that, but it's a good thing that they did do it.
It definitely is. But please, what's with the shields? I don't get the shields. It's like, I'm not bad mouthing the police department, but it's like, come on, it's not a comic book. everything that you're doing out there can't be done like a comic book. You're not SWAT. You don't need shields.
Right.
You know, you need negotiators. You need dialogue. You need to talk to people. You need to interact with people. You don't really need shields. I don't understand the shields.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I don't know.
I don't either. It's like, come on. We live in a fairy tale world.
Right.
I think I'll blame it on the Harry Potter books or something.
Even though we don't live in a fairy tale world, that video of that man jumping was still something crazy. It was the video of him. He didn't really jump. He tried to fall backwards off of it, and then they grabbed him and pulled him up. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I hear you. Police, you need physics 101. Can't hold them, you know.
All right. So with the next story, before we take a break, is
kudos for you.
With the city still buzzing from the news that City Councilor Michael Gaffney and his wife Corinne Gaffney have withdrawn from their council races, the remaining council candidates continued with business as usual Monday night at a livable Worcester candidates forum. Joseph Petty will face Connie Lukes in a race for mayor. Both are also up for councilor at-large seats. Sponsored by the Livable City Committee, the standing room only forum held at Parkview Room on Park Avenue had candidates fielding questions focused on planning and redesigning concepts that promote vitality, economic development, and healthy, sustainable neighborhoods. Candidates first addressed a complete streets policy for Worcester to provide safe and accessible options for all travel modes and for people of all ages and abilities. And that's another story that we're going to have to talk about in a minute after we get done with this one. We're going to have to talk about the crackdown of bicyclists. The city of Worcester has decided that they are going to crack down on kids on bicycles. So that's a whole nother story that we're going to have to get to. But candidates first addressed a complete streets policy for Worcester to provide safe and accessible options for all travel modes. We should have a walkable, livable city in different parts of transportation in our downtown area, so we are not just focusing on cars, Kate Toomey said. Well, Kate Toomey, it's good that you want to focus on other means of transportation, like taking the bus or taking cabs, Spanish cabs, or maybe, I don't know, one day Worcester might become a big enough city for them to develop a subway system. Probably not, but you never know. But at the end of the day, Miss Toomey, why are we talking about means of transportation when that's not the biggest problem in Worcester? That's one of the things that I don't understand. While a complete street policies allows everyone to share our streets safely, District 5 Councilor Gary Rosen said the first thing we need is more police enforcement. We have distracted drivers that don't know when the lights are even red, Mr. Rosen said. We have pedestrians walking across the street texting. They even stop in the middle. I see them at Kelly Square.
I see them everywhere there. I see them on, that's one of my pet peeves too. It's like pedestrians, go to the crosswalk, push the button. If you don't know how, ask your 3-year-old. They know how.
So I agree it is a problem.
Yeah,
but
I don't want to run them over. They dent my car.
Right. No, I understand. I don't want my car to get dented either. But when we're talking about the problems that Worcester face, that I think would probably come in at about number 8, 9, or 10.
Yeah.
There's other problems in Worcester that needs to be addressed by these city councilors that are not being addressed.
Yeah, and one thing when they say they need more policing and stuff like that, I keep seeing police at all these construction sites, all these little dig-ups and everything. I see police presence all the time. This is one place where you can get more policing out of your police. You don't need those police at that thing. You can institute the crosswalk guard.
Yep.
Or whatever it is. You can train them. They have them all over the country. With the slow and the stop sign and doing all these things with the orange bit. You don't need to play a police officer time and a half or double time or whatever they're getting to stand out there and talk to the other police officer who because they have to cover each and every street or something like that. It's like you use the money wisely. You know, you can and that will give jobs to people in the city.
Yeah.
You know, so you're killing two birds with one stone. You're getting more bang for your bucks out of the police department, and you're giving jobs to people within the city.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's not a whole bunch of training that they have to go through. You know, and they become city officials and they feel good about themselves. They're doing their little stop and go signs out there. They're all over the place. Pilot cars and all kinds of stuff.
So you think we need more police enforcement?
I think the police enforcement that people are talking about, we don't need more police.
Okay.
We need better usage of police.
Okay.
That's what I think we need. Police need to be policing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, because you don't need them at the traffic stops.
But this is the thing that's infuriating me. We're talking about the problems in the city of Worcester. We have all of our potential our potential city councilors at this meeting last night, and this is and this is what they're talking about. District 5 candidate Paul J. Franco also stressed the ills of cell phones in the hands of youths, emphasizing the lack of sidewalks from Burncoat to Wawika Street, stretches of Millbrook Streets, and the bottom of Clark Street. District 1 City Councilor candidate Sean Rose said people in the district should have a say of the new designs in their district. What the hell are we talking about?
I don't know.
Cell phones in teens' hands? You're saying that's the biggest problem? That's one of the top priorities in Worcester right now?
It's just foolish anyways. It's like, why are you talking about cell phones and kids?
Yeah.
They're synonymous.
Right.
Cell phones and adults, I can understand that a little bit. Cell phones and kids,
so no, what
this generation is in a lock like that.
Right, but what they're saying is that kids are walking with their cell phones and they're looking at their cell phones and just walking right into the street and getting hit.
They are.
That's an issue that needs to be addressed.
They're walking in the streets and getting hit. They're walking in the holes and falling down. They're just walking in. Their attention span isn't there. They're focused on the cell phone, and I understand that, but you can't delegate a policy, go even advocate for a policy that's going to infringe on this is going to infringe on people. You're putting them as prisoners. It's like, you can't do this.
Right.
Because you're a kid. What? No, I'm 18.
Why are we talking about these things at the city? We're about to vote for city councilors.
Because that's dumb. Because you got a bunch of inept city councilors that's out there running. You got an inept bunch of people that's out there running all together. You got a strong group of people in the background that ain't elected that's putting together a very viable city, you know, for big business.
Christian King said it's challenging for able-bodied people to get around the city, but it's dangerous and difficult for those who are impaired. Miss Lukes said drivers just go too fast. This is the article.
Christian King, yeah, it's easy for those who are impaired to get around any place. Say something that's useful.
Please. Please say something that's useful. Any of them.
Yeah.
Miss Lukes, Connie Lukes said the drivers just go too fast in residential areas and school zones, and said we have an obligation to review how people travel on our roads, which is challenging and dangerous.
Yeah.
Okay. So while I want to say this is the biggest crock of crap that I've heard in a long time, we have to admit Worcester Massachusetts is one of the states with the worst drivers in the country. So we do have to acknowledge that. No, it is. It definitely with insurance rates and accidents claims and stuff like that. Yeah. Worcester, Massachusetts is the worst. Okay. So we have the worst drivers, admittedly. However, I don't think we're going to make drivers drive better because we lower the speed limit to 25 miles an hour instead of 30 miles an hour. But what the councilors are talking about now is having more police out there with their guns, pulling people over who are trying to get to places now. This to me is a headache. Work. No, it doesn't work. It's annoying to me, and could be better things that be done.
There's a lot of better things that can be done that they could champion, than just saying the dumb stuff. Some of that stuff what you just said is dumb. It's just like saying, you're going into the zoo. We need a new baby giraffe, so the first thing we're going to do is impregnate an elephant.
Right.
It's like, okay.
Right.
That'll work. These things won't work either. They'll work. You'll get something, but it won't be what you want.
Okay. Here's some of the other things that they said last night at this important meeting with these important subjects. Mr. Petty said it's definitely time and it's important to have a design review committee for the city, and most of the candidates agreed. Both Mr. Bergman and Mr. Rosen called the WRTA building next to Union Station a terrible-looking building that might have been prevented by a design review committee. Does Mr. Rosen and Mr. Bergman realize that they approved of this WRTA building?
No.
The city council voted.
Yeah, they forgot that fact. They forget all these.
I swear, people in the city are going to give me a brain aneurysm. True, I swear.
The city council treats the people of the city like they're stupid and they got short-term memory. That's what they do. They're kind of dumb.
Yeah.
But they're true in some regards. It doesn't need to be having a design thing, but that's all part of that gentrification anyway.
Yep.
They want to make the city look modern and above modern into futuristic and everything, and it's going to bring about a whole lot of different type of exposures throughout at least within the confines of the United States. And they're going to bring a lot of people in. They're going to improve on the railroad system that they have there. They'll improve on accesses to the highway. They'll improve on the airport and stuff. Mm-hmm. The only thing they don't really have is the waterfront.
Right.
Which would be... It's not really all that bad because they don't bring in a lot of products for commerce and stuff. They're bringing in a lot of brain type of things for the city. The insurance company. They're bringing in big high-tech type of things. They're bringing in all these brain type of things that you don't need a seafront for. But you do need transportation, and that's what they're talking about. And they do, when they come into the city, they want to have something to talk about that's beautifying and all this stuff. So I can see all this coming for gentrification. I don't know where they think they're going to get the money from, because that maybe from all these big millionaires that's bringing in their thing from Tokyo. I understand all this. But they're not going to get giraffes from them elephants.
They're not going to get giraffes from them. Not one giraffe is coming.
No.
And you guys better start asking for giraffes, or you ain't going to have no long necks in this city at all.
I got that from my friend Bill M. Talking about you don't get giraffes from elephants. I thought it was great.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, you don't. That is I like that. I think I might use that. Mr. Rosen also said it's terrible that the city is going to lose Notre Dame Church at Salem Square. Mr. Franco added that a design review board might have saved the historic church from the wrecking ball. Mr. Franco said that we need a comprehensive maintenance program for green and blue spaces. And Mr. Bergman suggested giving the Parks Department autonomy separate from the Department of Public Works to better manage the parks.
I don't even know what they're talking about. That's a little bit outside of my thing.
We are talking about the parks now.
The park.
People are homeless.
Yeah.
And there are prostitutions in the streets.
In the park.
In the park. Drugs.
I witnessed it.
Yes, rampant drug use in the park.
I witnessed it.
And they want to address the park.
The park.
Oh, true. I can't.
They come a little bit late on a whole bunch of things like this.
I can't. I can't with them. Miss Luke said Green Hill Park, which she said has a failing golf course, is draining finances from the city while occupying valuable open space.
She's absolutely correct.
Yes, now I can agree with that.
She's absolutely correct. But just don't have a quick little look at answer to it and put it in a dog park.
Yep.
That's foolish.
So here's a very telling line from the gentrification in the article. The candidates were also asked how would they propose to enhance the city's livability and affordability so entrepreneurs, students, immigrants, and artists can continue to thrive and contribute to the city's revitalization. What the hell about the people who live here?
They don't exist.
They don't to these councilors at all.
They don't exist, and that's terrible because people, you already feel that you don't exist.
Right.
You know, but you're the ones that vote. The immigrants don't vote.
The entrepreneurs that come here don't vote.
They don't live here.
Nope, they don't.
It's like you're the voting mass of it right now.
Yep.
Later on, it ain't gonna happen. So vote right.
And what the hell artists are they talking about? Are they talking about the artists who paint Green Elm Park and put those weird things up?
They're talking about Hanover Theater. They're talking about. There's a lot of artisans that are here in Worcester. There's a whole community of artisans that are here in Worcester doing plays and the poetry type of things, and a lot of them circle around the vegan type of.
Good Lord.
You know, but they're there, and a lot of them come from the kids in school themselves. There's just a lot of different type of activities for those things. Mm-hmm. I keep getting the name of that place. The pavilion.
Pavilion?
Yeah. You know, it's got a neon kind of marquee now, you know. It's up there featuring all these type of different things coming there. So this is something to be proud of. But it's not something to throw money at the expense of somebody who lives a mile down the street.
Yep.
You know? Because they can't. It's a, you know.
So
and you can't fix the parking problem by making better sidewalks and more parking and what do you call it? Parking places there, the parking
garages,
yeah. You can't fix that. That's not gonna really. It'll help, but it's not gonna really fix it for the people who live here. Mm-hmm. You know, one little snowstorm on some of these little streets like that, it's done. You know. It's done. You can't even no place to park your car.
Right. So entrepreneurs, students, immigrants, and artists.
I don't get the immigrants.
Are all.
It's just to keep your face all nice and washed and everything with a nice bright Pepsodent smile and everything. We're a sanctuary city.
I guess it's just saying that the people who live here that work hard to. To have a living and to make a living aren't thought about.
They aren't thought about.
At all.
No.
The blue-collar workers in the city of Worcester are not even being considered in this fiasco of a meeting. And that just goes to show where their priorities are. This meeting shows what the priorities of the city councilors are, and the priorities have nothing to do with the everyday people who work hard, who want to live here.
No, and it also shows that the city councilors aren't reading the manuscripts that they should be reading. I don't think they understand the city itself. I think that they're not even looking, they're listening.
Yep.
They're listening to whatever somebody else is telling them from that ghostly bureaucracy that everybody knows about, but nobody says anything about. They're listening to their words. Mm-hmm. And this is how the city's going to prosper, and this is how it's going to be great for the city. And they don't know the people who live on all those streets off of Main Street.
Right.
And they don't even care about all the people they see sleeping on Main Street.
Yep.
It's like they got plans for them in the future. It's called move them out to someplace else. Yeah.
Well, we're going to take a break while my head hurts because I want to know why the city council doesn't think about the average man, the average Joe that lives in the city council. Take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the Worcester police to crack down on teens bicycling recklessly and North Korea. Are we at the brink of a nuclear war? Be back on Truth in the AM.